Hey guys, so today's stretch session is going to involve a lot to do with the lower limb and in particular the ankle joint. Often a joint I think that gets neglected, and the ankle itself and the foot can have a huge effect on what goes on higher up the chain. So we're going to start nice and simply with some big foot circles round. Normal rep ranges for us, so 10 to 20, go crazy if you want to do a few more. Spending time drawing big circles around that joint and then the other way. Then we're going to point those toes away from us and hold. Right, for 10 seconds. And then bring those toes back towards you. And away again. And back towards you. And then turning the heels in. And then turning the heels out, which was a bit weird. And back in. And back out. And feel free to do that a couple of rounds, guys, absolutely fine. Then we're going to start to work on the Achilles area and the lower sort of tissues around sort of the base of the ankle, basically. So you can use a wall. I'm going to just use the rack here. So I'm going to get my fist here and I'm going to put sort of fist width of space between the rack and my foot, okay? And then from that position, my other foot is behind me. And I'm just going to try and push my front knee sort of over my second to third toe and try and get that to touch the rack forwards in front of me without my heel coming off the floor. So we're trying to always focus on that front foot. The back foot, to a certain extent, you can let that do what it likes. And we're going to, each time, what we want to be careful is not let the knee track in, go inwards. And also, again, as I said, don't let the heel come off the floor. We're just trying to mobilise that area. 10 each side, all good. And exactly the same the other side. Trying to get that knee to track. Now what we can do, guys, if you start to feel that's quite manageable, you can bring the foot a little bit further away and then go again. If it means you get a better stretch, but your knee can't actually touch the surface it's going forwards in the direction of, it doesn't matter, it's all good. Mobilising those tissues. Now one of my favourites, which you do need to do to take a little bit of balance with first, is put your knees together and then actually you do push that knee over the little toe and you draw a semicircle. Now this is much more effective when you hold on to something, so I'll show you at a slight angle. So knees together, weight forward, and I'm drawing a semicircle, keeping that balance, holding on to something over my toes. My knee is tracking over my toes. Not often we let people do this, but in this instance, absolutely fine. Getting some movement, get some blood flow in those tissues. And then to the other side, push the knee forward, little swivels side to side. Excellent stuff. So we're really trying to get some movement through those areas. Okay. Then we know we've got a couple of classic calf stretches. Now, they're all good, the oldies are the best. So, one that you probably know from school, 1 foot forward and 1 foot behind you. And we're going to keep the back, both my heels on the floor, push my knee forward and hold. Now, if you're feeling any tension in the front of the ankle joint, so in particular here, then I'm going to show you something to help that in a sec. So we're just going to hold there. How long do you hold it for? Anything between 30 to a minute. Okay, 30 seconds to a minute. These are good to do on a rest day. You would argue that it wouldn't be massively effective to do it prior to training because you want your tissues to be a little bit stiff prior to lifting, etc. Then we're going to go for the soleus. So back leg, I'm just going to drop my knee, this time sort of towards my toes on my back foot. So we're isolating the area a bit now. And then the other side. Excellent. Okay, right. Then we're going to use a bench or a chair. And then from this position, I'm going to put my foot onto the bench. And I'm going to let myself, this knee, track right forwards. And I'm just going to push that over my little toes. And again, my back leg can do whatever it likes. Just trying to push the knee over my little toes. Get some movement through that ankle joint. 10 to 15, absolutely fine each side. To the other side. Again, just pushing that knee out over my little toes. Mobilising that joint. Now, a good one to finish on with the ankles is to actually go into squat. Now we know that those of you who can go into that deep squat, we can mobilise really well. We just swivel our hips side to side from that position. If we can, we work on keeping that chest elevated slightly. I can also take a weighted disc here. And again, I'm just trying to push my knee over my little toe slightly. Now for some of you, that may be a bit much. This is when, again, you can use a door frame. You can hold onto the wall and run your hands down it, which we do often. So hands straight up against the wall. As I go down, I squat down, trying to keep my hands against the wall as I squat, and then coming back up. Now, if you can hold on to something, like some kind of pole, door handle, anything outside that's a bit more accessible and safe. And what I can do is hold on to that and then actually sit into the squat and then comfortably move side to side. And again, I'm swiveling my hips side to side, trying to keep my heels on the floor. (10 to 20 again, all good. Okay guys, so that is short and sweet today on the ankle. If you find one stretch, one movement more effective than the rest of them, it might be a good one just to add to your warm-up toolkit or your cool-down toolkit on a rest day in particular as well. Have a go, let me know how you get on.